Let me ask you something. Have you ever had one of those weeks where you work your tail off? You do every single thing that your business coach tells you to do. You check all the things off your list, and it still feels like you're running in place? This episode is for you. Hey, beautiful human, it's me, Rebecca Weiner McGregor, and welcome to another episode of Effective Immediately, the show where we talk mindset, healthy emotions, abundance, leadership, and the subconscious shifts that allow you to have what you want effective immediately. All right, so it's frustrating, right? You're smart, you're driven, you're talented, you've already created success, maybe even broke that six-figure milestone, but you just can't seem to let yourself move past it. I know that feeling personally. Several years ago, I hit a ceiling too. On paper, things looked amazing, right? Behind the scenes, I was nervous. I was exhausted. I was second guessing myself. I was honestly wondering if maybe this was all there was going to be for me, that was going to be the end, that was going to be the limit, right? And then one day it clicked. It wasn't that I didn't know what to do. It was that my subconscious mind was wired to keep me safe, not successful. Remember, we talk about this all the time, and I know that I drive this home a lot because it's very important for you to remember your subconscious mind does not care about your goals. It doesn't care about your joy. It doesn't care about your big, beautiful vision. It cares about keeping you safe. And what feels safe to the subconscious mind is having things stay the same. So when we are trying to take on more, do more, be more, the subconscious mind will react if it doesn't feel safe, right? So if I hadn't done the subconscious work, if I hadn't done the things that helped me break through that old story that this is all there was ever going to be for me, then I would still be circling that same ceiling. I could talk, that same ceiling. All right, so this is what we're going to talk about today. And it's really about the myth of more strategy, because if you've reached a place with your business, you know a lot of strategy, right? If you've reached that 100K mark, you know a lot of strategy. You know a lot of things that got you there. You even know the things that will move you past there, right? Because you have bought the coaching, you've bought the plans, you've invested in yourself, but something still isn't allowing you to go past that 100K mark. That means that your subconscious mind isn't ready to go. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, okay? You have probably invested thousands or maybe a lot more than that if you're like me. Courses, masterminds, group coaching, maybe even private mentors, right? And don't get me wrong, strategy has its place, right? I learned tons from the coaches and the strategists and the consultants that I've worked with that helped me reach different levels in my business. I had to know that stuff. And they also know, those coaches also know that you have to have your mind on board. You have to have your subconscious mind on board for all of that stuff to work. So this is the thing that probably nobody has been telling you, or that you've been kind of seeing here or there because it's related to where you are. Strategy without subconscious alignment is going to fall flat. It's like trying to pour water into a leaky bucket. It just isn't going to fill up the way that you want it to, right? I remember a season in my own business when, and I've talked about this a few times, when I kept hiring experts. I kept trying new things. I kept trying to post more, do more, change things up, and nothing seemed to move the needle. And I thought, if I just do more, then it will work. And I just kept trying. And I was running on subconscious patterns that told me, don't be too visible. So even though I had things to make me visible, things to do, I wasn't ready. I wasn't doing them. Don't raise your prices. You'll scare people off. Back in the early days, I had a very, very yucky relationship with pricing, and all of that has changed over the years. Don't celebrate too loudly. People will judge you. I've had clients come to me and say things like, I just want to have the car that I want, but I know people will say things. I just want to go on these trips without people asking me, or saying negative things to me about my money. Because it comes up. It comes up from family. It comes up from friends. It comes up from community members. Questioning, wondering. And so our desire to not be rejected will have us quiet that stuff down, right? Will have us hide that stuff, hide our visibility, hide our desires. So I had all those subconscious patterns telling me to not be too visible, to hide, to not raise my prices, to not celebrate too much. And so I just kept doing. I just kept pushing and doing, and my subconscious mind wouldn't fully let me receive. The moment that I shifted that wiring, everything changed. Decisions became lighter, showing up felt easier, clients said yes faster. And the lesson here is not that you need more strategy. It's that you need that subconscious alignment. Without it, strategy just amplifies your stuckness, right? Because you're trying all the things and you're not moving ahead the way you want to. It just gets more frustrating. It just acknowledges, okay, I'm stuck, even though I bought this new program and I did everything. Even though I showed up to all these things and I did everything they told me to do, and nothing moved. So without it, you can feel stagnant, you can feel stuck, you can feel very frustrated, you can wonder what's wrong with you, you can wonder what's wrong with your business, you can be frustrated with the people who you've been hiring to help you because things aren't working. And then once you have the subconscious alignment, things really start to flow. Now, I want to talk about the 3 silent saboteurs that I see in almost every woman who hits that 100K ceiling, but can't move past it. And that number 1 is perfectionism. I know we have talked about perfectionism several times on this podcast. The double checking, the polishing, the making sure it's perfect before you put it out, which doesn't mean anything, but really that is procrastination in disguise, right? It delays action. It delays your results. And I had a client who sat on a new offer for 6 months, tweaking the copy, tweaking the graphics, tweaking the back end, making sure everything was perfect before she turned it on and started offering it, right? And once we cleared the subconscious belief that she wasn't ready, she launched it in a week. She launched it in a week and had 5 new clients. This is not complicated. We think it's complicated because we're stuck and we're used to things being hard, and we're used to telling ourselves that things have to be hard in order to end up really good. But the process of getting to subconscious alignment is actually very simple. We can't think our way there, so we think it's complicated, right? Okay, number 2 is indecision. And this is recognition that every delay has a price tag. Now, I'm not talking about delaying because your intuition is telling you that you're not ready yet, or that the timing, you're allowed to have your conversations with your intuition, right? Your intuition is really from a place of love. I'm talking about the thing that you held back saying because of fear. The thing that you didn't post. You didn't post because you didn't want to rock the boat. You had that client that you wanted to follow up with, but you just weren't quite sure what to say to them, so you didn't say anything, and you didn't even get an opportunity to ask to get to work with them, right? That choice that you sat on for a long time, the momentum kind of fizzled on it. This is one of those sneaky things, right? Because we can operate from our intuition, and we can say to ourselves too that indecision means that we're being careful, that we're being cautious, right? But really, for the most part, it can be indecision and confusion and fear running the show. So if that's happening to you, give yourself a lot of love. Remember, we're just collecting data here. We're not judging ourselves. And now, number 3, self-sabotage. This is the one where you finally get the momentum. You finally get the clients coming, the money is flowing, and suddenly you kind of ghost your own business. You cancel launches. You get too busy to post. It's not laziness. It's a subconscious pattern that says this much success isn't safe. I know this is a tough one because you've got to this place, right? This place that you set out to get to. You were going to be a 100K entrepreneur. You were going to be a 100K coach. You get to this place, but you hadn't really thought about what you're going to be after that. You hadn't really got your mind on board with what you wanted to do after that. So you get to this place where it feels safe to be here, right? You got here maybe with a lot of grit, maybe with a lot of pressure on yourself, a lot of perfectionism. And now your body doesn't want to let you go any further. And by body, I'm talking about your subconscious mind regulating and impacting your nervous system. Here's the thing, none of these are flaws. And I recently talked about how none of this means anything about you other than your subconscious mind is out of alignment. Would you be mad at yourself if your back was out of alignment and you had to go to the chiropractor? No. You would just deal with going to the chiropractor and getting back in alignment. So don't make this mean anything about you, okay? This doesn't have to mean anything about you that you are feeling any of these things. They're just subconscious loops. And all the loops can be rewired. Okay, so what happens when you rewire the loops? Decisions get faster and cleaner. Momentum builds naturally, and you just get to enjoy the ride. Keep going on the ride, right? You get to feel more confident. You get to feel more peaceful, and that becomes your new baseline. That becomes your foundation on which everything else gets to be built. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. This is about becoming the fullest version of who you already are. Doesn't that sound delicious? You just get to fill in what you want, what you already are, and expand into your next level. Your multiple 6-figure level, whatever it is that you want for your big vision. More impact, more clients, more visibility, whatever it is, right? I've seen it over and over again. The women who felt stuck at 100K start consistently making 20, 30, 40K months as soon as they've dissolved those blocks. This can be you on the other side, right? It doesn't take a ton of time. It doesn't take a lot of complex strategy. It really takes you just coming back to yourself and who you want to be, and then expanding from there. One of my clients told me that she felt like she was fighting herself for years. And I will tell you that like the vast majority of my clients will come to me and say things like, this should be easier. I know what I'm doing. I am a smart person. I'm educated. I have a lot of common sense. I know all the things. How come I can't make this feeling go away? How come I can't move past it? This is probably like the most common thing. This is telling you that you can't think your way out of it, that it's deeper in your subconscious mind. Because if you could have thought your way out of it or use your education to get yourself out of it, you would have done that already. Right? You're brilliant. You're gifted. You're talented. You're strong. You're powerful. Talking to your subconscious mind just takes a little bit of effort, And you get to have someone guide you there to do it in the most effective way, where you can have lasting, permanent results. Okay, so when she did the work, right? She did the work that said, after she'd come to me and said, I feel like I've been fighting myself for years. She started to recognize the places and times and moments where she had abandoned herself, where she had tried to push past what she needed, what her body was asking her for. She created a lot of resistance with herself that was unnecessary. And we brought her back home to herself. We helped her to fuel her vision, to fuel her goals, to fuel her passion, and to feel in flow, at ease, and energized doing it. And she quickly said that it was so much easier to lead from love and alignment and to connection with herself rather than fighting herself. It's a lot of extra energy that we're spending every single day fighting with ourselves. It's a huge distraction from the things that you want to be doing. So we have this beautiful opportunity to change it. So if you're listening to this now and you're nodding along and you're thinking, yes, that's me, I want you to know that you are not broken. You are not lazy. You're not missing some secret strategy that someone else is getting that you're not. You're wired, and that wiring can change. Okay, so give yourself a nice, easy breath, and I want you to come home to yourself. Put your hand on your heart. Whenever you need to come home to yourself, the fastest path to doing that is to put your hand on your heart. I want you to recognize for yourself that you've been pushing. You've been frustrated, angry, anxious, whatever the feelings are that come up when you're feeling stuck. And there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're already whole, full, complete. And you're already worthy. You were born worthy and nothing has changed. And if you make the decision now to start taking the opportunity to have the subconscious shifts, then everything gets to be easier for you. You can just remind yourself right now, everything gets to be easier for me. How can I make this easier for me? And as you're thinking about that how, let the answers come in. Stop trying to push that you know the how because you know all the strategy. We already know you're brilliant. We already know that you know all the strategy. You're getting caught in the how, and the how is about the feeling. So if this resonates you and you are ready to connect, you are ready to release this inner friction, this inner misalignment, you know where to reach me. You can set up a call at callwithrebecca.com. You can find out everything about what I've got to offer inside my subconscious success method, and let yourself explore what's possible for you. Okay. Last thing I want you to do as you are connecting with yourself. The ceiling doesn't exist. The ceiling doesn't exist. The ceiling doesn't exist. It's all you need to know. It's all you need to remember right now. The ceiling doesn't exist. You get frustrated, you get stuck. The ceiling doesn't exist. Be super loving with yourselves. Be kind with all these parts of you that are working inside of you. Notice when you are feeling the perfectionism, the indecision, the stuckness, whatever it is, with love, with care. Make the best decisions for yourself. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.